Well, a government task force studying the impact of the Singapore-Johor Bahru RTS Link is looking at infrastructure projects, for example, to draw footfall in the area. Since it was formed in March, there have been 5 engagement sessions with businesses, merchants, associations and residents. Now, for more, we cross to Rebecca Mateo, who's at one of those sessions, and she's joining us live from Marsiling Community Club. Rebecca, first of all, tell us what has emerged from this session.
Hey Joe, so the meeting wrapped up about an hour ago here at Marsiling Community Club. So the task force was announced by the Trade and Industry Ministry in March, and its chairperson is Minister of State Alvin Tan. And it is really looking at how Singapore can tap benefits of the Singapore-Johor Bahru Rapid Transit System Link, or otherwise also known as the RTS. Now, so their main task is really to engage local businesses and enterprises here in the northern side of Singapore. And that's because the RTS Link will be connected to the Woodlands North station. So today it was a 2-hour closed-door session with nearly 30 businesses and residents in the northern part of Singapore, and it is the 5th of such engagements they have had so far this year since their formation earlier this year. And they also shared, Mr. Tan, who is the chairperson of the task force, as I've mentioned just now, is that he shared with the media after the meeting, the 2-hour meeting, that the task force has already engaged over 160 residents, merchants, and also trade associations in the area to find out what are some sort of concerns and ideas they have to to boost business to the area and bring footfall to the area. Now, of course, Ms. Tan says that the task force is looking at local improvements and specific things that merchants can do to, again, drive footfall to the area. And one that also builds on the wider plans to rejuvenate northern part of Singapore, but he understands that residents and also businesses in particular have anxieties over the upcoming RTS project, how it might impact their businesses. But he says there are bright spots. Let's have a listen.
They're excited generally about the progress of the RTS Link, the conveniences that it will bring to residents, particularly in the north. But there are also some concerns about the impact of spending in particularly shops, businesses, heartland merchants within the north. So we are looking at many of their feedback.
So, Joe, to give you a little bit of context, is that this Singapore-Johor Bahru RTS project is really a bilateral project between Singapore and Malaysia, aimed at easing congestion as well as fostering people-to-people ties, and also sharing the economic value that might come out of this project. And it has a capacity of up to 10,000 commuters at its peak, and it just takes about 5 minutes from end to end when it's up and running. So last year, both sides also marked the completion of the cross-border connecting span, and right now, as we're speaking, construction is still underway.
Well, it's a difficult time, I understand, for some of the businesses in the area that you spoke to before the meeting. What are they telling you?
Right, Joe, cross-border travels have been a thing for Singaporeans. They like to travel to Johor Bahru for their groceries, furniture, and even beauty services. So it's certainly not a new sight. But what businesses are telling me is that this is getting a lot more frequent because people just hop over to the other side to do all this shopping. So some businesses have noticed that, especially those near the border in the northern part of Singapore, have noticed a slowing down of their business, and they are worried that competition could intensify once the RTS is up and running. But today I went down to a few places around in Woodlands as well as Marsiling, and it's a mixed bag of reactions because some shop owners are telling me that they are not too worried because they believe they have a strong base of regular customers, but some are quite worried because they are already seeing their earnings dip, and they just are concerned that when the RTS is up, they might see businesses slow down even further. Let's have a listen.
Whole north side will be affected, not only the retail shop, all the business in the north side, because the exchange rates is so much different. There's nothing much you can do, ma.
Maybe a bit, yes lah, because it's more convenient for them to use the RTS. But it also depends, because like I said, majority of them are elderly people. Sometimes they don't like to travel, so they just get anything that they can get here.
Put more item will attract the customer come and shop again and lower my price. So that's the way to attract the customer.
So the task force will be putting up its findings and recommendations in the first 2 quarters of next year. And leading up to that, they will be having a lot more engagements with merchants and residents around the area, Marsiling Woodlands area. And the RTS is expected to be up and running by the end of next year. Jill.
All right, appreciate that so much. Rebecca Mateo reporting live to us from Marsiling Community Club.